Hello and welcome back to Blake's Den. It's a lovely summer's day here today, as you can probably tell. And today I'm going to be doing some work on my Rover Mini MPI. So thanks for coming and joining me. What's the problem with this? Well, I pulled it out of the garage the other day and I went to put it back in and I realised that my wing mirror was being knocked, and I thought, well, that's not a problem, I'll wind down the window. Wound down the window and it's going, but I don't know if you can tell, it's really crunchy and it's just, yeah, I can't actually turn it any further than that at the moment. So we need to get the door card off and have a look and see what's going on. I've already got a feeling I know what it is because I had the very same problem on the Project Designer over there. So this is the driver's side door runner for the window. So the window sits in this channel here and there's like a wheel which runs in there. And they just corrode and fall apart and swell up like that. Luckily, I bought a left and a right hand pair when I was working on the Designer. So I shall utilise the left hand one. That's the right hand one, that's the left hand one. I shall utilise the left hand one on the MPI, but first let's get the door card off and see what is happening. To get the door card off, it should be fairly straightforward. You've got to pop the door handle thing off. It opens and closes the door. Handle comes off, that pops off there, and it pops off there, and there's another screw that pops off. This pops off there, and there's a screw there as well, and then there's, I think it's a couple of screws hold the bin on, and then the rest of it should just unclip. I don't think I've actually ever had the door card off in this Mini, and I've had this Mini for 15 years now, so yeah, this is quite interesting for me. Yeah, I've also had to empty the bin there, and I remembered I found this, which someone bought me this ages ago. It's called a light mine. It's got a LED light in it, but it's all magnets on it, so you can just sort of stick it all different positions. It's a really useful tool to have in the Mini. If you ever have any problems at the side of the road, you can just clip that wherever you want and it shines the light. So that's really cool. Right, I'll set to and I'll start taking this apart. So that was all very straightforward. To get the sort of door lock bit off, I've got some plastic trim removal tools. So here's what I've got, all different sizes. These are really useful. I got these from the Practical Classics NEC Restoration Show jobby thing, which is every year. There we are, pop that off without damaging the door card. Now we should be able to just prise off this door card and then it should just lift off. So if I again use this tool, we should be able to go around and pop off any fasteners which might be in there. There we are. And there we are, door card removed and the window mechanism is here. Next thing to do is to remove the waterproof membrane, which is just sort of stuck on. It's quite important you put this back on afterwards, but you can see there's some sort of tide mark and corrosion down here. So once this is pulled off, we should then be able to get into the window mechanism itself, and then we might be able to see what the problem is. So I'm just going to continue pulling this off. There we are, it's coming off quite easy. When it comes to putting it back on, you can use a bit of double-sided tape, you can use some silicone sealant, whatever you want really. And there, this is the inside of the door. Now, this being an MPI, it should have inside the door, there you go, additional strengthening in the door, which is that for crash protection, which might make this harder than normal, or I think it's just going to be one of those jobs where you just end up slicing your hand open all the time. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put the window winder back on, because I need to be able to wind this window up and down to see what's happening with the mechanism. So I've partially wound the window down there, and yet you can see exactly as I suspected, the channel is corroded, it's twisted, it's all coming away from the glass, and basically the whole thing needs to be replaced at that end. So I've just got to remember exactly how you do this. I think how I did it last time was I temporarily supported the glass with some string, then I wound down the mechanism, then reached in, untied it, and sort of put the new one in, reattached it, wound it back up, undid my string, and then did that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think for just a little bit better access, I think I'm probably going to have to pop off the window winder mechanism. But we'll see, I may not need to do that yet. Right, just to show you what's going on as well. Yeah, you can see the whole thing sort of slipping and making lots of crunchy noises, and yeah, all not very nice at all. So right, I'm going to get myself set up and we'll get this fixed. So what I've done here, I've just scored around the edge of the sealant which was holding this on. So now this is free to move, but you can't pull it off because it's sitting in the channels which are here and there. But what I can do is, by winding the mechanism down, I can sort of raise and lower that channel as this whole thing moves. So then I think it's just a case of getting it in a position where I can get my hand in and pull it off. But I honestly can't remember how I did it last time. Let's just see if I peer that open. Okay, right, so you might not be able to see, but down there you can sort of see how the assembly sits in the channel. Okay, so I need to wind this back quite a bit more yet. And then this should. Right, so the channel's now all the way down here. And you can see the issue that that arm is in the channel. And you need to get that arm, which is on a ball, out of the channel. And yeah, it's all very fiddly. And obviously, yeah, you can see the issues with the door here, or the glass here in the channel. So yeah, I just need to have a play around with this until I work out the best way to get this apart. I think it's probably about there, to be honest. I think actually what I'm going to do now is, I don't want to break the glass. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop a bit of string down now to support the glass. And hopefully that'll prevent any further damage. Got some ratchet strap webbing safely supporting the door now. And then, with that window mechanism down, it can just slide that channel out. Obviously, yeah, you can see how it's just swollen up and opened up and failed. And then I should be able to also pull off the rubber seal which sits on the bottom of the window. The seal just needs a bit of teasing off because I don't know how long it's been on there for. I know this car was sort of rebuilt before I got it, but I don't know how much it was rebuilt. And there we are. Lovely. And as the saying goes, refitting is the reversal of removal. So I'm going to put the rubber channel onto the window. Just get that slid along into place. We are sort of feel through the door openings that is secured. It just needs slightly repositioning. There we are. And then this should just slot in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in first and then I'm going to lubricate it once it's in the door. Just otherwise your hands get really dirty. So that needs to go in here. And then I need to get the wheel, which is on the back of this mechanism into the channel. Conscious that you can't really see this very well, but if it's any consolation, neither can I. So a lot of this is just done by feel and guesswork. Okay, so nearly there, getting the wheel into the channel. There we are, so that's now in. So then I can then slide that up. And then this is when it gets a bit tricky, because you sort of need like 7 hands to do this. But that is now in the right place. I need to temporarily hold it there in the right place until I can get this mechanism back in the right place. I've moved my strap along to support the channel, and then I've just put a little bit of grease as well on the end of the runners, both sides. So now what I should be able to do is, if I wind this window mechanism, got 2 screws back in on the winder mechanism. Make sure there's a little tab here needs to go in to make sure that the wheel doesn't come out of the channel as well on the new sort of window support you've just put in. So now if I pull this, which is the best way to pull it, might need to slacken off the screw slightly, but anyway, the knot's undone, window goes up smoothly, window goes down smoothly as well. So that is exactly what I was after. So good stuff. Right, I'm going to get this loosened off and we'll start putting it back together. I've got the mechanism back on, but I was doing a couple of test winds and something's gone wrong. If you look here, you can see the rubber I've put on. On the other side you can see the channel. My channel is right down here, so it's clearly gone a bit skew with, so I need to wrestle with that and get that back into position. I think what I might just need to nip up the channel a little bit more. I think it's probably too far apart, that's not gripping the rubber, so let me wrestle with that. Well, that is now back together, and I'm not going to lie, it was quite fiddly. But now it runs all the way down to the bottom fine. A little bit stiff right at the bottom there, but I think I might have just bent the channel a bit too much, but it will go all of the way and then it's smooth all the way up. So yeah, so what the issue was, the channel, obviously this is the old one, I actually had it too pinched together along the top here. So this rubber has got that rubber sits up there, and it was so pinched together that the rubber wouldn't actually engage into it when the window was wound up. So yeah, so that's what happened. But now it all seems to be working quite fine. Just before I put everything back together, I'm just going to take the opportunity to shoot some cavity wax into the door. Help keep the rust at bay. I'll probably do. Maybe a tiny bit more here. There we are, just a little bit of rust. Well, rust protection around the door bottoms, which tend to go first. Right, I now need to get the protective sheeting back on, which means I need to get my roll of double-sided tape out and put lots of bits of tape on. You can see where obviously it was stuck before, so I'll just replicate that. Stuck the weatherproofing back on, just using double-sided tape underneath. You can see all the various bits I've put on. All seems fine. Yeah, now I'll just put everything back on, say exactly the same as how I took it off, but there's one little trick I want to show you when you get to the window winder. For the window winder, you've got a hexagon, so there's obviously multiple positions where this can go into. So what I've done is I've wound this window up, and I've checked on the driver's side. So the driver's side one, all the way up, it points forwards. So I shall do the same with this one. Points forwards, there we are. So now this should look nice and neat. See, I need to put the shiny ring on and the cap on, unscrew. And there we are, all back together and fully functional. So I'm pleased with that. Nice easy job you can do. Little fiddly, but you don't need any specialist tools. Screwdriver and yeah, small hands helps. Yeah, it's one of those jobs you end up with cuts and marks all over your hands because you're trying to reach through all the holes to get to it. But yeah, nice easy job done. So that's it for this video. As you can see, it actually rained on the car whilst I was working away there, so just need the weather now to be able to get out there and enjoy having the windows down. So I hope you found the video useful. If you did, press the like button. If you got any questions, ask away in the comments section. I respond to all of my comments. And don't forget to subscribe. It costs you nothing. I think about 85% of viewers of my channel are non-subscribers, so why not just press that button and subscribe? So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.